This new construction single-family home in Kapolei has updated finishes and it's already under contract. Let me show you why and how to get the next one. 15%. That is how far the typical single-family home in Kapolei fell over the past year, down to a median right around $850,000. In that same 12 months, the newly built single-family homes right here climbed to a median around $974,000. And Oahu as a whole rose about 3.5% to roughly 1.14 million. Same island, same year. Three numbers moving three different directions. Most people see that 15% and either panic or start hunting for a fire sale. Both are wrong because that 15% is one of the most misleading numbers in Hawaii real estate, and I'm going to show you exactly what is hiding inside it. But first, the number that actually makes this home worth your time. This is the model with the upgraded finishes here, a higher grade quartz, a different cabinet door, a more premium package than the other two models. And the upgraded model is not the most expensive one. By the foot, it comes in at about $617 a square foot, right alongside the $620 on the biggest floor plan, with the smallest sitting up at about $640. So the biggest home and this one land within 0.5% of each other per foot, effectively the same. Now, a caveat, because this is Hawaii, we do not lean on price per square foot the way the mainland does, because here the land carries the value, not the structure on top of it. Two identical size homes can be worth completely different money because of the land underneath. So I never use per foot on its own, but it works here because we are comparing models inside one development from one builder on lots that are basically the same size. Hold the land constant and square footage finally tells you something. And the reason this one price is lowest has almost nothing to do with the house. I will show you in a minute. Now the demand, because this is where it gets loud. Single-family homes here sell in about 15 days. The island median takes 21. Older Kapolei is around 26 and climbing. Months of supply here is about half a month, against 3.5 island-wide, and under 3 months is already a seller's market. Closings here are up about 175% over the year, and essentially everyone closes at 100% of list. No reductions. So if the monthly payment is what stands between you and a home like this, here is the most useful thing I can hand you. There are close to 100 homes across Oahu right now, in every price range and every neighborhood, where you can take over the seller's existing loan instead of taking out a new one, some of them locked in the 2 to 3% range. I pull that full list from the MLS twice a month. If you want it, click the link below and drop your email, and I will send it over free. And on a new home like this one, Gentry offers a builder credit of about 3% that you can put toward closing costs or toward buying down your rate. Terms like that can change, so have your agent confirm before you write an offer. Now back to that 15%, because this is the part that will make you a sharper buyer everywhere, not just here. Here is what a median actually is. You line up every home that's sold, and you take the one in the middle. That is the entire calculation. It does not know the difference between a 1970s house on leasehold land that needs a roof and a home nobody has ever lived in. It counts them exactly the same. So in a town like Kapolei, where the sold column includes small, older homes, homes on leasehold land, homes that needed real work, and new construction, that middle number moves based on which kinds of homes happened to sell that year, not on whether any single home lost $1. Say last year the sales leaned toward larger fee simple homes, and this year the mix leaned toward smaller, older homes instead. The median drops. Every owner in that town could have held their value exactly, and the number would still print down 15%. That is not a crash. That is a mix change, and the data backs that up. Older Kapolei runs about $577 a square foot. The new construction here runs about $616. The island overall runs about $701. If Kapolei homes were truly collapsing, you would expect that per foot number to fall off a cliff too. It moved about 1%. The median fell 15. That gap between the two is your tell. It is telling you the mix changed, not that the value did. This is why I will not let one median make a decision for you, and it is why when someone sends you a headline that says a town is down 15%, the first question is always the same. Down compared to what? And made up of what? And here is a second layer to that same lesson, because it applies to the numbers I just gave you. This community closed about 11 single-family sales over the past year. Older Kapolei closed about 13. Those are small numbers. So when I tell you closings here are up 175%, understand what that actually is. It is a big percentage of a very small base. A handful of extra sales moves it enormously. The same is true of that 15% drop next door. Thinly traded markets produce dramatic-looking percentages, and one unusual sale can swing the entire line. I'm not telling you the numbers are wrong. I am telling you to ask how many sales are behind a number before you let it scare you or excite you. That is the difference between reading data and reacting to it. Now look at supply, because this is the cleanest explanation for the divergence. On average, this community has had roughly one single-family home on the market at any given time over the past year, and new listings here actually fell about 11%. Meanwhile, older Kapolei put about 21% more new listings on the market. So the older part of town has more homes coming available, and the new construction side has almost nothing sitting. More supply on one side, almost none on the other in the same town. That is what pulls the two price lines apart, and it is a large part of why the older median softened while this one held. Across the island, new listings were down about 4.5%, while pendings rose about 5%. So Oahu overall is still absorbing more than it is adding. Now, the reason this model prices where it does, it is the lot premium, and almost no buyer asks about it. Every home in a community like this has a base price, and then the builder adds a premium for the specific lot. A better location, a better orientation, a bigger yard, all cost more. This home sits on a lot carrying a premium of about $3,000. The other models carry premiums closer to $7,000. That gap is the entire reason they upgraded home prices below the biggest one. Sit with that, because it is the lesson. Two nearly identical homes, same community, same builder, can sit thousands of dollars apart for reasons that have nothing to do with the home. So when you shop new construction, do not just compare base prices and finishes. Ask for the lot premium on every single home in the release. In a release of a dozen near identical homes, there is nearly always one where the premium is soft. Now the price ladder, so you can see the whole community at a glance. The entry model runs about $967,000. This one is about $975,600. And the biggest floor plan tops out around $988,000. So roughly $21,000 separates the smallest home from the biggest. And in the last video, I showed you exactly what that $21,000 buys you in space if you step up to the largest floor plan. This model answers a different question. Look at the top of that ladder. The biggest floor plan and this one are $3 a foot apart. All three models sit within about 2% of each other on price. So once you are choosing between the top two, square footage is not the lever anymore. The lever is the finishes and the lot premium. That is the question this home answers. And the prices here move with every phase. Homes this size have closed at about $964,000, then $970,000, then $974,000 across the past year. And the current one sits right around $975,600. Step by step, release by release, the number climbs. That is the normal rhythm of new construction. And it is the strongest argument there is against waiting for a dip the data says is not coming. There is also headroom above these. The earlier, larger single-family homes here, the ones on slightly bigger lots, have sold for as much as $1.05 to $1.1 million. And the sales history at the model level tells you how uneven this can be. The entry model here has closed anywhere from about $949,000 to $969,000. The biggest floor plan has closed between about $975,000 and $981,000. Days on market across those sales ran from as fast as 2 days to as long as several months. So while the average is 15 days, the range underneath it is wide. Some of these are gone before the weekend, and some sit. That spread is exactly why the lot premium matters as much as it does. The homes that move in days are almost always the ones where the price and the lot lined up. And compare it to the townhomes in this same community, which have been running a median around $716,000. Stepping from a townhome into this is roughly $260,000. That is a real number, and I am not going to wave it away. What it buys you is a detached home. No shared walls, your own lot, and covered parking for 2 cars instead of 1. Whether that trade is worth it is your call, and for plenty of buyers, it is not. Let me come back to why new is holding while old is softening, because it is the through line of this whole series. A new home carries no deferred maintenance. There is no aging roof, no tired air conditioner, no surprise special assessment waiting for you 3 years in. Everything is new, everything is under warranty, and everything is built to run efficiently, which matters more in Hawaii than almost anywhere, because we pay the highest electricity rates in the country. Put real math on it. Say you buy an older Kapolei home at $850,000 instead of this one at $975,000. You feel good about saving $125,000 upfront, but over the first 5 years, an older home can hand you a roof, an air conditioner, a water heater, maybe an assessment, and higher power bills the entire way through. Stack those up, and a real chunk of that $125,000 disappears into work you did not budget for on the home schedule, not yours. Older can absolutely be the right buy, and for some of you it is, but the comparison is not sticker to sticker. It is total cost over the years you will actually live there. Run it that way, and the gap between old and new narrows fast. That is the second reason the new construction here held, while the older resale slid. There is a leverage angle worth naming too, because these list and close at 100% with no price cuts and no concessions. The demand here is real. It is not propped up by credits or games. As a buyer, that means you do not win here with a lowball. You win by being ready. Fully pre-approved before you fall for anything, because in a half month of supply segment, the buyer who can move is the buyer who gets the home. Know your numbers cold, so when the right one opens, you can say yes the same day, not next week. And get on the list early, so you see the release before it is broadly out. On taxes, Oahu is low by mainland standards. On a home right around $975,000, as your primary residence with the home exemption, you are generally in the $3,000 to $4,000 a year range. The rules and the rate change if it is not your primary residence, so check your own situation. And then there is the efficiency dividend. New appliances, new systems, a new roof in the state with the highest power costs in the country, quietly saving you money every month you own it. That never shows up on the price tag, but it is a real part of what your money is buying. Let me be clear about what you actually own here, because the structure trips people up. These are CPR, zero lot line, detached single-family homes, fee simple. In plain terms, a real standalone house, your own walls, your own front and back, and you own the land under it. The lot is compact, so this is a true single-family home, but not a big lot property, and the community handles the shared areas. You are trading yard size for a new, low-maintenance, detached home. And on the timeline, new construction works differently from resale in a way that can work for you. Some homes are finished and ready to close quickly. Others are still being built and release over the coming months. So depending on when you need to move, you can take a completed home fast or reserve one still under construction and line your closing up with your life, which resale almost never lets you do. If you are relocating to Oahu or moving here with the military on a set report date, that ability to match a home to your arrival is a real advantage. And when you reserve one that is still being built, you often get to choose finishes, so you're not just taking what is left. If you're doing this from a distance, I can walk you through any available or upcoming home on a private, detailed video. So you're deciding on real information instead of the same model home photos every listing uses. So who is this one for? If you want move-in ready, upgraded finishes without paying any more per foot, then the biggest floor plan. This is the model, and the numbers back you up. If the finishes do not move you and you would rather put that money somewhere else, the standard models are the smarter buy. My job is not to talk you into the nicest one. If a home like this is what you want, reach out, and I will tell you exactly what is open, what is coming, and for how much. So you are deciding on your terms instead of scrambling. And if today's rates are the only reason you are hesitating, do not start with the house, start with the loan. On new construction, the builder credit buys it down. On resale, you step into the seller's low rate directly, and there are nearly 100 Oahu homes right now where that is possible. Want the list? Click the link below, drop your email, and I will send it over. And that is every model at this community. The townhomes, the entry single family, the biggest floor plan, and this one, the upgraded value play. We have now walked all of them. If you have watched the whole series, you know this community better than most buyers who walk into that sales office. And more importantly, you know which questions to ask about the lot premium, about the credit, and about what a median is actually made of. If this data-first approach is what you want more of, tell me in the comments, because the numbers are the reason I make these. I'm Oksana with Island Living Oahu. Subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.